All right, everyone, here we are with ticker symbol XPEV, Xpeng Inc. Before we jump into this chart, I want to say welcome to all my first-time viewers and investors. Welcome to my channel, Invest for Tomorrow. To all my subscribers, welcome back, and we're going to jump into this chart. So one of the things here that I want to state is thank you to all subscribers and viewers and investors that took the time to go ahead and even tell me how to pronounce this yesterday in the video's comments. I really appreciate that. I want to say thank you to you if you're watching, and if you're not, I hope that you come across this video so that you know I'm thanking you, and I'll take the time to comment back to your comment. And also, I want to say thank you to everybody that actually went ahead and answered the trivia question. I want you guys to know there's going to be a trivia question towards the end of this video, and I want you guys to stay tuned for it so that you guys can pay close attention to these cues and why they're important. And they're also good to answer because if somebody overlooked it, by answering it down below, they can also be aware of that point of reference. So let's jump into this chart. Very important number. The first thing I want to keep mentioning is the lowest point when this actually slightly leveled off, when there was a slight bullish run, and before it continued to hit newer highs, which was 25.20. I want you guys to keep that in mind. 25.20 is a support level to keep in mind in the near future, weeks from now and even months from now. You want to go ahead and keep that in mind if it goes in that trajectory of a bearish run. Now, if it doesn't go anywhere near it, that's a good sign. It's holding itself up. There's some consolidation, and it'll start to run up to newer highs. But always good to keep that in mind. But let's look at what's important for tomorrow. We're going to move our support to its new location, and this is going to be a very narrow stretch, so I'm going to talk about this a little bit broader than what we see, and we're going to look at what it's showing us in the last couple of hours. Now, I do want to state that this has had a lot of volatility. I mean, you could see it jumping up and down within the same 30-minute time frame, hitting a low yesterday, right, of about 31.40 and jumping all the way up to 35 and some change, almost $36, and we're seeing that again here. I mean, it hit a low here of 33.13 and it jumped up to 36.52. Those type of long candlesticks are volatility that's just going wild within one time frame and moving within minutes away from these numbers. Now you can see there's a lot of other stable ones, but at one point in the middle of the day or the beginning of the day, which was more of like the middle of the day towards the end, right now these last couple of hours, and we still have 2 hours of aftermarket hours, it was going pretty wild. I mean, it hit a high here of 36.52 and it hit a low here of $31 to the T. So these are some important numbers, and we're going to look at them closely. So most important number here for the next coming days and weeks as well is 36.49. Let me get that right to the T there. 36.49. I'd write that down. Super important. That's the highest point reached by the bulls in today's trajectory, and if they can break through that, they're moving a lot further into bullish territory. Now, the lowest point was down here at $31 to the T. I know that I zoomed in now and it's getting kind of bouncing around, but it was $31. There we go. $31 is super important to keep in mind. If it breaks through that, this could be on its way to newer lows, and that's the lowest point in this slight bearish trajectory. I mean, there's some sideways movement here, but it's slightly going lower and lower every time. If you look at it closely, it fell, leveled off, slightly started to fall, it fell, leveled off. So we're slightly going lower and lower here. It's a pretty quiet bearish run that if you don't pay close attention to it, you may miss it, that it's actually on its way to newer lows. You may look at it and say, oh, it's not looking too bad. And another thing too that's important to keep in mind, and what I like about chart analysis, is that you're actually seeing the numbers for what they are and not the red and the green. Because even if you believe that it's not going anywhere lower, sometimes on these brokerages and on these apps, you may see the green color, right, by the number, or the red number, and it shows you that it's going down when it's red and it's going up when it's green. And sometimes you might have been somebody that's been watching this or got in on this up here at $35 because you thought it was a sale compared to where it was, and today it was red, and then let's say tomorrow it turns green and it's just at 34. You're still below where you're at. And that's why technical analysis, I love them, because it breaks down everything. I know that you still see the red and the green, and I'm going off topic a little bit here, but I really want to explain this to every investor and viewer that yes, you may see the red and the green here and this and that, but when you're looking at these numbers, you're looking at them for what they are. They're the exact number that you're looking at them for, not the color, not the trajectory, not the 1% up, the 2% down. You know, you're really breaking this down to what it is. And I would love to see your guys' comments down below too on feedback on what you think about these technical analysis and if they actually are worth it. I mean, some people may have their opinion and say, oh, you know, it's not that good. And some people are going to say it's awesome because it lets you see an entry point and even an exit point. And to be honest, the best way to actually analyze any stock and quiet down all the noise of news and reports and so forth is charts. That's the way that you do it way back to the beginning of time. It's like almost long division and long multiplication. It's like throwing away the calculator because the calculator helps you skip steps and actually writing it all out and seeing it step by step for what it is. That's what I really like about chart analysis. But yeah, I would love to see your guys' comments down below. And again, I want to apologize for kind of rambling on about that, but I really wanted to explain that, and it's important to keep that in mind, why these chart analysis are so good. So 32.71, that's where we're at right now. The 50-day moving average is up here at 34.02. Write that down, super important number. As long as we're below it, we're in bearish territory. The moment we're above it, we're in bullish territory. So I really want to emphasize to all investors, write that down, pay close attention to it and how it's reacting. Now, for the bulls to get back into bullish territory, yes, they need to break through the 50-day moving average, but to confirm it, the most important number would be up here that I'd stated earlier for them to break through to reach newer highs. And it's super important to keep that in mind, that just breaking through the 50-day moving average does not signify that the bulls have gained control. It's their first step to gaining leverage in bullish territory, but they need to pull away from it. Now, before even getting to the 50-day moving average, how could they get there? Their first step is actually building a catalyst and creating a support at this resistance, and that's 33.58. I'd write that down, super important, but I want to emphasize to all investors, 33.58 does not signify that the bulls have gained control. This is the beginning of the catalyst for them to turn that into a support, pull away from it, and get back into bullish territory. Super important. Their goal is to break through the 50-day moving average, get back into bullish territory, but before getting there, the first step is turning 33.58 into a support and pull away from it as they get closer to the 50-day moving average. Now, on the other hand, which is the second lowest point before this actually recovered and leveled off, because the lowest point dipped was way down here at $31. Well, this support level is an indicator to let us know that the bulls are losing more control and the bears are gaining control on pulling this further away from the 50-day moving average in a downward direction. So keep this number in mind, and if it gets broken through, my best emphasis to all investors and advice based off of this is, if 31.82 gets broken through, pay very close attention to how this stock is behaving, how quickly is it moving to newer lows, because we're already in bearish territory, and breaking through 31.82 is just getting deeper into bearish territory, pulling further away from the 50-day moving average in a downward direction. So keep that in mind. Pay close attention to how this is reacting at 31.82. How quickly is it moving towards it? How quickly is it moving away from it in a downward direction? Because if it does break through it and it continues to hit newer lows, it's pulling further away from the 50-day moving average to hit new lows, new support levels, and get deeper into bearish territory than it already is. I hope that these cues are helpful and informative, and you guys found them worthwhile, and that they go ahead and better equip you guys for tomorrow's trading day. And if you found this video helpful and informative, please do so and subscribe. Don't forget to click on the bell to turn on all notifications and not miss a single video that I post. Share this with your friends and community. And don't forget to hit the like button to let me know you watched this video. So, trivia question. What was the highest and lowest point reached today? And why is it important to keep them in mind? Why is it important for the bulls to try to reach that highest point? And if they break through it, what does that mean for them? And for the bears, if they break through the lowest point, why is it important to pay close attention to it as an investor? And what does that mean for the bears and for the chart overall? I look forward to seeing your guys' comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and let's make some money.